Okay, I'm live with Shelley Worrell. We're talking about the census. Hold on, I'm just pinning the comment, waiting for people to join. Comment pinned. Shelley, the stoop is so beautiful in these doors. Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Luckily, it's still nice out. I think we're going to have like an early fall and winter. Though.
Yeah. Oh, people joining. You look lovely. So why is the census so important? Well, first, actually, sorry. Why don't I... Do you want to just introduce yourself and say where we are and what you do in the community?
Sure. So my name is Shelley Worrell, and we're in Flatbush, Brooklyn, which is central Brooklyn, home to a very large and diverse Caribbean population. And we're talking about the census today. And since 2018, I've been leading Caribbean partnerships at the U.S. Census Bureau, which falls under the U.S. Department of Commerce, and specifically charged with outreach and planning and strategy to reach hard-to-count populations. In my case, it was the Caribbean population in the Northeast region, which is 8 states plus Puerto Rico. Though I wasn't in Puerto Rico, but more the Northeast. And that's what I've been working on.
And why
is it so important? Is the second question you asked, right?
Yes, why is it so important, and what can people do? For those who don't know, how easy it is to fill out.
Well, we could start with that. I mean, you can go to my2020census.gov. It takes literally 10 minutes, and it determines the next 10 years of our lives. And the impact is really on everything that surrounds you. So from infrastructure, housing, healthcare, education, voting precincts, school districts, congressional representation, and hundreds of billions of dollars in federal funding. The number that we have is $675 billion, and that impacts all of those services, right? So when you think about why are our hospitals underfunded, why are our schools underfunded, we're in Brooklyn, so why do we have potholes? Or, why are our roads not the way, and infrastructure the way it should be? It's because we are typically reporting at somewhere in the 50% range. We are one of the most undercounted cities in America. We are also the largest Black city, at least as of now, in America. So really, really important that everyone completes their census. Children under the age of 5, all children, are amongst the most undercounted in the entire nation. So when you ask yourself, why do we not have the resources for children? It's because they're not counted. So I talk about this a lot because I think it's really easy for you to think about an infant, a newborn, a toddler, as like not really a person, because you're like, this is just a little person, they don't need anything. But fast forward to when they're 4 and they're going to pre-K, or they're 5 and they're going to kindergarten. They won't be counted for the next 10 years until 2030. So when you go into the school and you're asking yourself, why don't they have after-school programs, sufficient books, teachers, resources, school lunches even, all of that is determined by census data. And so when you think about, we're sitting here in Flatbush, I'm on my block, if there are 100 kids on my block and only 10 are counted, the local schools will only have resources for 10 children. Similarly for senior citizens, if we only count half of them or a third of them, we will only receive the accessory, the Medicaid, or whatever other resources that they need, senior programs, for that percentage. So it's really important. And a lot at stake. We've lost political representation in New York over the last 2 censuses, 2 houses, 2 seats in Congress, both in 2010 and 2000. So we're down 4 seats. Meanwhile, other states are going up.
And for those who are afraid to report because they think they're gonna, for example, undocumented, immigrants, they're afraid they're gonna get caught. Is there something you can share about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I talk about this is the census has been conducted every 10 years since 1790, right? And it's really an exercise to count the United States, its people, and its housing, right? And so a lot of people are really attributing the census to the president. But if you think about how many times the government has changed since 1790, and we're on an election year as well, so we don't know what's going to happen in 2021. So do we really want to ascribe the next 10 years of our future, of our communities, because we feel that, we don't like this particular government. But the other thing that's really important to talk about is that the census is easy, safe, important. It's really not about where you live, or we're not sharing any information with any other government agency or court. Your data is protected by Title 13. Everyone who works for the Census Bureau, like myself, and anyone who would come to your house with the U.S. Census, we see in your community with the U.S. Census Bureau ID, we are sworn to confidentiality for life. So we're really just doing this count so that we can make sure that we have the accurate numbers, so that we can make sure that our communities, not only in New York, of course we care most about Brooklyn and New York City, but my mom lives in Delaware. I want to make sure that she has all the resources and infrastructure that she needs. I have family who live in Maryland, in Florida, in California. So it's really about counting everyone living in the United States, regardless of their immigrant status, to make sure that we have, and everyone from zero, from the newborns to the most elder person that is in your household, need to be counted. And so I think it's really important that everyone understand how critically important this is.
And so just repeat for us, it's Census 2020?
No, it's my 2020 Census.gov. There are 10 questions. It takes 10 minutes, and it determines the next 10 years of literally your whole life. It's even longer than the presidential election, right? That this data lives on with us, because we only conduct the decennial every 10 years.
Okay, and I'll add that when I post. I'll add the URL. Great. And is there anything else you want to tell us about this area, Shelley? And sort of, you also run a couple of organizations over here. Whatever you want to share about your experience with Flatbush.
Yeah, so I'm a lifetime native. I'm also the founder. A lot of people know me from my work with Caribbean and Little Caribbean NYC, which is sort of the nexus of Caribbean community here in Flatbush and small business. My tenure at the census ends on the 25th of September, so I'll be back doing all of that work. I've been largely on sabbatical over the last couple of years, but we'll continue to be immersed in Caribbean culture and community in Brooklyn, New York City, and beyond.
Nice. And most importantly, where should we go for dinner tonight? If I go take Daniel, if I take Daniel out, hi.
Daniel, what kind of food do you want? Roti? Do you want jerk chicken? What do you want?
I love it all.
Well, so if you're going back towards the subway, this way, which is on Nostrand Avenue, there's a new Peppa's that just opened up. I had dinner there on Saturday, so they have amazing jerk chicken with rice and peas, or peas and rice. And if you don't eat that, you can also get fish, escabeche fish. Next to there is a great Haitian spot for patties. You can have those for breakfast. Across the street from there is Golden Crust, so you can get other patties, like more savory kind of patties, though, that you would eat for dinner, like beef. I love the jerk chicken patty, even though I'm not a huge lover of chicken or meat, but their jerk chicken patty is really good. But I also like their spinach patty. So those are 3 spots on your way to the subway.
Nice.
If you go in the other direction, you can go, and you want more of a sit-down place, there's a Caribbean wine bar, and they have an amazing mac and cheese. They serve it in a cast iron skillet, and with shrimp on top, or I don't know what the other top. I usually get shrimp. I think there's another one with jerk chicken. So that's really good. Their fish is really good too. They have a really good fish. And it's a wine bar, so you can have a drink.
Yum. Brooklyn by Bike just commented, Peppa's!
Hi, Brooklyn by Bike. We're working on a project together.
Yay! I heard. I love all our little Brooklyn,
We're a
groups
community.
coming together. We're a very big community.
I think Brooklyn by Bike is coming to Little Caribbean tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm coming back. No.
Right? I'm like, we need to link up.
I love it. And I kind of asked you this already, but voting. Are you voting in person, first of all, or by mail?
Well,
How do you feel
that's a
about
good question.
the whole
That's a great
in-person
question
versus mail
because
question?
during the primaries, I had a problem. So I had requested my ballot. I never received it. Then when I got to my voting station, they were like, it moved. And then when I got to the other station, they didn't have my name. So then I had to fill out some other like affidavit, like weird thing. And then the lady just put it in a box. And I was like, so I put that on the gram, and the Vote NYC people, they responded, they sent me a message. I was like, whatever. So I just requested my ballot. I'm hoping that I can mail it in. I don't want to go like have all this drama, but if I don't receive it, then I have to go in person. But voting is like one of the, apart from the census, like those are the two most important things that you could do right now: the census and voting, if you're a U.S. citizen. But you don't have to be a U.S. citizen, and that's the other thing. A lot of people think that you have to be a U.S. citizen to do the census. The census is to count every living person in the United States.
Oh, and as we wrap this up, what is the final deadline for the census?
September 30th. Though there is a another suit that's trial or something that was just I don't know, issued or filed by the National Urban League for another extension. But right now the deadline is September 30th.
Oh, that's right, because it was moved up. It was supposed to be
October 30th. And it was moved up by a month. Yeah. And Brooklyn is really low right now. I think the stats we're at like 55% as of today. So that means out of our, like if you think about us getting, let's say $100 million a year of federal funding, that then goes down to the state and to the city, we would only receive 55% of our share.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Carly says no.
Yeah, so everyone,
hey, big black
tell
hands.
your friends, tell your neighbors. I have signs. I have, I have a lot of colleagues working all over Brooklyn and all over New York. If you want anyone to come and help set up a mobile unit, we're doing that. I have one going on in Fort Wayne tomorrow, one at the Flatbush Junction, and a number of others throughout the end of the month. So if anyone wants to be in touch, feel free to DM me. Since this is on Instagram, you guys can, or mention me in the comments on Stoop Stories, and then I can put you in touch with someone from that region.
That's fantastic.
Of Brooklyn.
Should we have a Stoop census event?
We can.
We could have one.
That'll be fun.
I would donate my Stoop to it.
Let's do it.
So we got the census and we got voting. We got to get these things. We got to get it done, son.
And there's no do-over. Like next year when you're like, well, can I turn in my form? No, you can't. I've been at forums where people are like, well, can we, if the count is doesn't come out where it should be, well, can we sue the government? Like, no. We just have to live with the data for 10 years.
Wow, 10 years.
And the lack of resources, which is basically effectively, and representation, infrastructure, all of that.
And it affects zoning and all of that as well, right? Yeah.
It really affects your whole environment. And it's not also about, I think a lot of people think about the census as being for poor people or socioeconomic, and it's not, right? Rich people have hospitals and roads and schools too, but they just tend to do their census. That's why they have more stuff.
Right, and they're coming from a place of privilege already, so they may not think it's as crucial as others, but
exactly.
Yeah. How do we get more communities to show up and do their census?
We need trusted voices, people like yourself and others to, because we're not going direct to consumer. There's a whole marketing campaign that's taking place, but we're working with centers and people of influence, right? Organizations, people, centers, houses of worship. So it's really just, sort of getting the word out in those ways. People are putting up lawn signs. I have neighbors who have lawn signs up. I can give you a lawn sign.
I would love a lawn sign.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Chris. How's it going? Awesome. Well, it has been wonderful talking to you this afternoon, Shelley. Having a Stoop Chat. I'll try to see if Michelle Obama can come by next time.
Cool, thanks. Hey, Michelle. We're waiting for you.
Here on the stoop, there's plenty of room. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much. And again, you guys, my census 2020, right?
My 2020 census.
My 2020 census.
.gov.
.gov. I'm going to write it in the thing. All right. Thanks, Shelley.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.